Libra, welcome to your moving on reading. Moving on is exactly what it sounds like, a reading dedicated towards the moving on or moving forward principles. Sometimes we find ourselves stuck in life. I know I'm supposed to let go of this, move on from it, let it go, transform it, leave it. I don't know. I just know I'm supposed to move on from it, but I'm struggling. I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. Left, right, A, B, that kind of thing. Happens all the time. The idea is what we're doing about it. We're not doing about it. What are we thinking, not thinking, feeling, not feeling, action versus inaction, that kind of thing. That being said, it's an energetic read of the self, strictly non-reversal. Know them, know they. Everybody has extenuating circumstances. Don't get me wrong. They influence us every day, as they're supposed to. There are circumstances. Those are our people. They influence us. They're supposed to. But at the end of the day, we're the individuals that have to call the shots in our own particular story. So moving on is not about. It's about that. What am I doing? What am I not doing? Am I holding myself accountable, or am I just acting like I don't have a decision in this? Yet my spirit and my emotions tell me I'm supposed to move on or move forward or open up towards this or close this off, but I'm not abiding by it. So it can't be all about them or they, can it? There you go. That's why we're here. That being said, I know that this is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I know moving on readings are confrontational. That's the idea. But people can get very frustrated and upset with them for that. I know what people are used to seeing on YouTube when it comes to tarot. And it's very rarely confrontational of the self. It's typically, it's their fault. You know, so if this isn't your type, that's cool, man. That's cool. Same as with intimate tarot. Don't watch anything that would upset you. You'll take nothing from it except be pissed off with me, and I got enough of that already. And despite that, I know I'm going to see it in the comments, you know, I hate you. I can't believe you said that. Well, if it weren't for them, that, this, and the other, what did I just say at the opening, guys? There will always be a them, that, this, and the other. How are we dealing with it? Do we see our responsibility in it? That's who I'm talking to. So, if you're that person that's sticking around because you really want to know, because you really want help and insight, cool, this is the reading type for you. And even then, you may not see yourself in it just because you're willing to look at it. So take what resonates, leave what does not. Just because it says Libra in the title, it may not be for you. However, if you watch it, I hope you take away something from it. You know, we could all use a little bit more insight. That's what I believe. What's going on, please? Show me that Librian moving on energy, please. Show me that Librian moving on energy, please. Moving on, moving forward. Closing off, opening up. Show me that Librian moving on and or moving forward energy. And to tell you, your air cousins. Whew. They took me on some rides today. They all but knocked the stuffing out of me. What's going on, please, for Libra? Show me Libra. Show me Libra. Ace of Pentacles. I bet it's hard. It's really hard to put work into something. Interesting. It's hard. Is that a new offer or a continuing one? Some sort of contract? I'd love a new opportunity in XYZ, but I got all this stuff going on. Or it's hard to maintain this contract. You know, the ace, again, guys, new exists in the word renew. Some of you, it's an ongoing renewal contract. Others of you, it's a brand new opportunity. Either way, you're saying it's hard. We'll see. Feelings you need to confront. Six of Wands, confidence. Okay, your hidden energies, the Chariot, you have quite a bit available to you to actually move on or move forward. The choice is yours. It's actually with you very strongly with the Chariot. And the Chariot is our boldest of heart. This is where I intend to go with my vehicle. And it's with you. So in other words, you have the ability to push past this. You do. It may not seem like you do. Strength. You have the strength within you to take risks, to take chance, to be open. I know you remember what it's like to have a freshness of energy. I can believe in myself. I can be the fool. The fool, we have to remember, is overall meant to be positive. He has no agenda attached to him. He just knows he wants to try. Okay? Many of you have strength or have taken strength in just trying to be open. Fresh energies, no assumptions. I'm just going to do it. You have a strong platform in you of having done that before. The world, lessons that you need to learn before you can move on. Something about cycles being natural. They are. Opening and closing. It's part of the world. It's the way of the world. This is life. Outcome. Ace of Wands. You got something for you. You got something for you, honey. I promise you, you got something for you. Oh. Special shout out to that Libra commenter. I understood your comment. And you said at first you were put off by me because you thought I was a bit full of air and assumptive, because I say things like honey and I can be a bit snotty. Yeah. I tend to speak with affirmation. That's absolutely true. But I'd like to think I was very relatable with folks, and you said you saw that, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I know how I can come off. I know. But when I say honey, it's a very southern thing, guys. We relate everything to nicknames. I don't know why. We all do that. Honey, sugar, baby. It's just, there you go. That's how I speak, but I appreciate you, and I understand what you were saying. But yeah, there we go. Let's get cracking. I just wanted to give a shout out to you. I apologize, I've already forgotten names. That's something that you will get used to if you hang around this channel. I don't remember names. That's why everybody's sugar, honey, baby as well. It's not just a southern thing. It's part of it, though. Ace of Pentacles. Let's see that Ace of Pentacles, please. What is it? 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 Ace of Pentacles. Show me that Ace of Pentacles. Show me that Ace of Pentacles. Show me the Ace of Pentacles. And Queen of Cups. Seven of Wands. The Two of Cups. Ooh, resistance. Resistance and love. Resistance and love. Just a wee bit. It's weird because we want it. We want it. We want that love. But there's resistance to love. Was it new love, Libra? Really hard for you to keep your heart open towards somebody, be on the same page. You got the capacity for it, honey, otherwise I wouldn't be seeing it. The Queen of Cups says capacity. Emotional acceptance. I love this like I love myself. Ace of Pentacles with their offer of love on the table. Pretty strong too, tangible. That means it existed. It wasn't hypothetical. It was real. It was legit. Seven of Wands, we got a little pushy-offy on it. You know, we wanted to match up cups with this person. Let's see that Ten of Wands. Why did you find it hard to match up cups with this person? Or, hold on. Let me see. I put the cart before the horse all the time because my brain will jump in 10 different places. Show me that Ten of Wands, please. Show me that Ten of Wands. Show me that Ten of Wands. Show me that Ten of Wands. Or did you keep trying to throw your, I gotta say it, did you keep trying to throw your love at somebody who wouldn't accept it? There's that too. Let's see that Ten of Wands. Seven of Cups. Nine of Wands. Well, that's a lot of resistance as well as confusion. Oh, jeez Louise. Ay. Ten of Wands. Seven of Cups. Nine of Wands. Yeah, that's what happened. It's the second one, not the first one. So, you're interested in a love partner, are you? And they won't take your darn cup. Oh no. I'm not laughing at you, honey. I know it hurt. I see. I think I saw. It was guarded. So you had a fullness of heart with somebody, but they weren't as full with their love or cup or as much as you had wanted or hoped. And I think you were the one then offering something very real to somebody. And you kept trying to offer it. Bless you. I'm gonna keep offering this. And you know, perhaps we could have done with stronger boundaries here. Yeah, there was a guardedness here. It wasn't fully accepted. I don't think it was fully rejected. In time it was, but it wasn't fully accepted, and it wasn't fully rejected. And the first step to moving on is realizing how hard it was to keep on repeating these behaviors. Somebody's interest remained much too small while you kept trying to keep your cups open towards this person. And this is the Nine of Wands. If you are not familiar with tarot, let me tell you what his little nickname is. The Wounded Warrior. Not my favorite, and I'll tell you why. It's his own fault. The reason he's called the Wounded Warrior He doesn't know when to stop fighting. That's why he's physically and emotionally exhausted. It's the same thing doing over and over again, expecting different results. I'm not saying you were insane, honey. I'm not saying you were insane. But I see that you kept at it, and you kept at it, and you kept it, and bless you, tried to keep your feelings open for somebody. Their interest remained much too small. And what you were offering, I dare say, did you reject an offer in love, Libra? Because it looked pretty tight. It looked pretty solid. You kind of regret that? No, it's the other way around. You legit offered your heart in a very realistic way, and you could have been more cautious. I think you know that now. We know that now, right? Hindsight is 20/20. It always is, isn't it? It always is. I know, we could have been a bit more cautious, but here's the thing, honey. The Queen of Cups is the Queen of Cups is the Queen of Cups. She feels what she feels, you know. At least it was pure. You love this person, and you really did offer the best that you could with what you had, and whatever that is. And it was real, too. You could that one up, right? It was a real offer of love. You put your heart on the line, you were likely in love. And what you were met with was resistance on the other side of that cup. Could you have done with more caution and boundaries? Of course. Tell that to the heart, who's like, I know what I feel and I know who and what I love. And it was just resistance, right? And first step to moving on from this. I already say, if it was being offered to you and you're resisting it, you have an opportunity to move forward. You have to lower your defenses. That goes without saying. But I am now switching that position to moving on from this. It just got come to terms with the fact that it was incredibly hard. Yes, it would stand to reason that over time, keeping your heart open towards this was at your own cost. It was exhausting. It's exhausting. How long were you supposed to keep that offer on display, honey? Indefinitely? You know, we could all do with a lesson in that. You know, you offer it once, not twice. If it wasn't accepted the first time, okay, at least yours was an honest effort. They don't accept it a second time, then it's on you if you continue to feel the exhaustion and the pain, and it's something we have to come to terms with. Yeah. It is something we have to come to terms with. At some point, we are fools in our own folly. So that would explain your fool. Speaking of fool, right there in the strength. You kind of pride yourself on opening up, taking a risk. Okay. All right. Well, that's how you know it gets real, honey, when I'm cracked on knuckles. All right, 6 of Wands. Now, when you do this all day with your hands, the joints start to get tight. All right. Feelings to confront. 6 of Wands. The pride. Sure. Ego. Attraction. Oh, Libra. Let's see that 6 of Wands, please. Feelings that we need to confront. But I will not take this back. I know your feelings for this person were authentic. Quite possibly quite in love. What you were offering was the real deal. Honey, they failed to appreciate it or accept it. There's nothing you can do for that sorry sod on the other side. Can't make someone wise up to what they're missing, honey. You just can't. Oh, let me tell you. If you could, you would, right? There's the yeah. As my ancestors would say, yeah. Feelings we need to confront. Yes, whatever this was, it felt good in its own way, in some way. Ego, pride, vanity, attraction. There's nothing wrong with seeing and being, and we felt good. We did. It felt good to be seen by this person, and there was attraction there, no doubt. And again, I have to insist, your heart was there. Not one. You got a lot of water in you, honey. You could have some very strong water orientation in you. That would make a lot of sense, particularly Cancer as well as Scorpios in here. But here's the thing, babe. 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords. You know, you probably told yourself you could be in love with this forever, and that you would never move on from it, or that you didn't need to. Right? This feeling you had for them, that would be enough, and it would carry you forward for as long as the situation needed. But that was kind of short-sighted, right, at the time, and I get it. The strength of your heart was such as that I love this so much with my most authentic self that perhaps you really even believed that you could hang in there forever. Like, I really love this situation or person, and I will stay around as long as it takes, and I will keep those cups open, even if it breaks my back. I'm not going anywhere, because I love it. I'm just really exhausted by it and strung out by it, but yeah, I'll stay in there. I'm never going to leave it. There's no way I could. There's no way I could. Look at that. Look at that lie right there next to the Five of Swords. There's no way I could leave this, because I love it too much. You loved it too much. Did they love it back? So how could this possibly be true? You know, I understand that dedication to the heart. But man, when we're telling ourselves this is what I would never do, or this is what I would absolutely do, you know, that's exactly that. It's usually something we're telling ourselves because we need to believe it. You told yourself you could never leave this. You loved it too much. You know, and that was coming from a certain ego, and I think it comes from a strength in the heart that you clearly have. You have the Chariot, you have the Fool. When I tell you you have a strength of heart and certain will and conviction, you believe it. You really do. That doesn't excuse the lies you told yourself, but I understand where they were coming from. You had such a strong love for this, but it didn't seem to love you back. But you're like, I can overlook that. It's okay. You're not the first person to do it. You won't be the last. Just don't do it to yourself again, personally. That's the only way it really fails, if we repeat the mistake. All right. Let's get cracking. Chariot, in your hidden energies. Oh, yeah, you absolutely 100% have the strength to move on from this, but you have to know it before you can do it. Honey, if you took a chance over and over again and keeping yourself open towards it, you can take a chance on you and moving on from it. I know you told yourself you could never leave it emotionally. It's a lie. I know it's a lie because it's Five of Swords. You can. I had this talk with Scorpio not too long ago for the last in-depth, speaking of which, and I think I said, you know, you can still miss somebody and move on from them at the same time. That's what grieving is. You can still love this person in your own way, even knowing they don't love you back the same way, and still say goodbye to them at the same time. That's what real moving on looks like. I'm at peace with this. I'm at terms with this. And I need to move on from it because staying around in it harms me more than it helps me. Right? Okay. Let's see that Chariot, please. That's a lot of emotional attachment. A lot. So I can see why you even got to that place where you lied to yourself about how long you could keep it going. But honey, yeah, I know. See, this is where a big conflict in you is. Okay? There's a huge conflict in your hidden energies. The Chariot. You have the strength of heart, the momentum to move forward, but you keep telling yourself you can't leave your lover behind. Yes, you can. You're trying to fool yourself into thinking you're not waiting, but you are waiting. It's just at the unconscious level. Subconscious. You're saying, my lover, my strong connection. I'm waiting for them. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. How dare you say that? I'm not doing that at all. I can move on anytime I wanted. Okay? You have the power to move forward and move on with your life. And you're like, I am. I'm not low-key waiting for my lover. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Waiting and giving this person all this time to catch up to you has proven how much they have not caught up to you. All that waiting, and I'm keeping my heart open towards this, should have told you by now how much they haven't taken it. If they felt the same way, you'd know by now. There'd be no conflict in you. There'd be no telling yourself, I could never leave this, my heart's too big for it. You wouldn't have to say that at all. And you wouldn't feel like you have to deny the fact that you're waiting for them to come around and to kind of fulfill their role as a lover. Let me make this clear. Of course they are. They're going to be a strong connection. They always will be. But you can't make someone accept their role. You just can't. You can't. You can't make someone fulfill their role or their destiny. You can't make someone choose you. You can't make someone love you back. I don't know if they did or not. Libra I'm looking at said they had opportunity, and you let them. I don't want to hear about they used me or they strung it out. You allowed it by waiting and acting like you weren't. You had the strength to move on. And I told you right now, if you had the cojones, okay, to open up towards this, then you have an equal amount of nerve to open up and move away from it too. But you have to know that's within your strengths and skill sets, and it's very much here, but you've been using it in all the wrong ways. And I have to tell this to people all the time, make your strengths work for you, not against you. And you had some beautiful strengths here, and in the name of love, you started using your best energies and qualities against you for this person. And how could that possibly be healthy? You know? I know the Libra I'm talking to knows exactly what the fuck I'm saying. And you're still going to be like, but I'm not waiting for them. I stopped waiting a long time ago. That's what somebody who is not waiting would say straight away in the comments, because they didn't hear anything else except for that. I'm not waiting. That's all you heard after 40, 50 minutes? You're still waiting. This person doesn't want to fulfill their role. I'm sorry. Just to put not too fine a point on it, that's their problem. You were offering something real, your heart. You have a beautiful innate connection that you're always going to feel to some degree. I know, it's annoying. It is annoying. You will feel it forever in some way. I'm not saying it's consuming your life, or at least it shouldn't be. I haven't seen the devil yet. I hope I don't. But you always feel it in some way, in some off moment. You know, I've had maybe one of these connections in my life, and I'll have a sharp impression that takes my breath away, and I'll be like, because I know it's not me. It's not my energy. It feels completely foreign and very strong. You know, and it will just be a random impression. Anything that wakes you up at 3 a.m. to something that just stops you in the middle of the afternoon. And those are those random moments, because that's what the Lovers is like. It is a higher level connectivity that we as humans just cannot fully understand. We're not capable of it because we're trapped in these bodies. We're trapped into these brains. We can only do so much. And if somebody cannot fulfill their role, then they will not. Okay? All I can tell you is this, is that you have with the Chariot the ability to move on from it, just as they had the ability to move towards it and they didn't. So stop waiting for your lover to fulfill a role that they can't or won't. Think about it. If you have told yourself repeatedly you can't move on, then this person was likely telling them they can't move forward. It's oppositional. It's highly connected, but also very oppositional. Somebody's offering, the other person's not taking. It's a tale as old as time. You got to move on. And know that you can. Believe that you can, because you can. Like I said, if you could open up towards it, full energy, balls out, then you can do the same and leaving it behind. You might even shock yourself at how easy it is once you get the process started. Show me that Fool, please. Speaking of which, the Fool, please. Show me that Fool, please. Show me that Fool. Show me the Fool. The Empress, that's you. It's the Swords, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Nail on the head, thank you, Spirit. Appreciate that. That's exactly what I just said. Do you see what I just said? Okay, look at me. Did you see what I just said? What did I just say? If you had the strength, the nerve to open your heart towards this, make a real valid offer, and you had the nerve to stay in there and keep offering it and keep offering it, keep getting rejected, getting more and more exhausted, mentally and emotional, fragile, to the point that you had to lie to yourself, then you have the exact same energy that works for you, not against you. Everything has a pro and a con, a black and a white, a rose and a thorn, a sunrise and a sunset. If you had that much energy directed towards this person that kept pushing it away, then you put it back into yourself. You're equally capable of both. If you had that much energy to put against you, despite the positivity behind it, then you can put it back into you where it belongs. Guess where it came from? You. No one else. You. Honey, get out of this. Stop giving to it mentally and emotionally. Like I said, you'll always be connected in some way. You can't help that. And if it comes back around, lovers often do, not because it's a lovers, but because of that inexplicable, high-functioning energy, spiritual concept that, again, we can't fully understand. If it comes back around, then it will in time. And hopefully it is better meted out than when you two last left it. That's all we can do. But in the meantime, baby, you got an obligation to numero uno, and that's you. Right, her. You know this, Ace of Swords. This is undisputable truth with the Fool twice. If you blast it open towards it, you can blast yourself out of it. You don't ever think that it works both ways. It works both ways. If you fall in love, you can fall out of love. If you can choose something, you can unchoose it. If you chose to expose your heart over and over again to this, then you can choose to expose yourself to your own heart and get the hell out of it. You have to know to put yourself first, and forward. Your energy to open up to so many other things is so much bigger than what you're trying to leave behind. And the sooner you understand that, the better you will accept it. More than accept it, live it. Let's see that World, please. Lessons that must be learned. The World. Things come, things go, and things have a way of coming back around when it's time. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes that lover is a one-trick pony. They had one thing to teach us, and then they're out. There are no guarantees. All we can do is learn from it and become our better versions. That was the whole point of the lover. Even if they didn't get their side of it, you get to get your side of yours if you're willing to understand it. So it's not all is lost, and it wasn't for nothing. It meant something. It meant you remembering what the hell you can do and how powerful your energy is. And if somebody can't take you up on it, honey, it's their fucking loss. You know? What are you gonna do? I know what you were packing. If they didn't, that's their problem. I'm sorry that they missed out, but honey, that doesn't mean you stop living life. Okay? You gotta know when to draw the line. You have to know when to draw the line, babe. All right, the Hermit. Devil, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, you have to understand that there are some things that you can heal. There are other things that you cannot heal. And there's other things that will be figured out in time. And that's all over the world. Look at that. Look at that. 3 majors on a major. These are all major concepts of the Libra I'm looking at. Says you know this. You know this. These are lessons that you have to learn. Some shit you can heal through time and experience and being wiser for wear about the shit we get caught up in and why we do it. That way we can amplify and become something greater. In other words, you already know some things are meant to stay and some things are meant to go and some things are meant to come back around when they're in a better condition. You know everything I just said. I'm not talking to an ignorant Libra. All right? You've done a lot of spiritual work. So apply it to you and your heart. Just because you feel very, I'm sorry, but I get this, so I feel like I'm qualified to tell you this. Just because you feel very, very strongly about somebody doesn't mean you're right. I know, people get that all the time, but I love them, but they didn't love you back, so how could you be right? The connection was right. In other words, it served its purpose. And tell it to your feelings that still are very much in love with this person. And just because we're in love with people doesn't mean we're right. You've learned it. I've learned it. A lot of people have learned it. Just because you're in love doesn't mean you're right. That the time is right or that the other person's going to give a damn or accept it or feel the same way. But I promise you, despite the inanity and the stupidness and the weirdness and the intensity of it, it serves a purpose. And I'm looking at that purpose, honey, and that purpose is beautiful. That purpose is called you. Okay? That's a hell of a lesson. But it's one that you're actually already very familiar with. But it applies to this no matter how much you love it, I suppose is the point. Just because we really love something doesn't make it any less subject to the same playing rules as anything else, you know? Let's see that Ace of Wands, please. Let's see that Ace of Wands. Let's see that Ace of Wands. Let's see that Ace of Wands. Yeah, let's see that Ace of Wands, actually. Let's see that Ace of Wands, please. I'm very curious. Let's see that Ace of Wands, please. The Chariot. The 3 of Swords, Page of Swords. Okay, that's better. be moving forward here relatively soon. You're starting to, it's interesting, your power energy is much stronger now, and your need to express your heartbreak has gotten much smaller. In other words, it's not as affecting you as much. Good. At some point, you can only have so much insight about pain and heartbreak, and at some point, you just have to make the decision to get on with it. I agree. You can only do so much spiritual learning and thinking and perspective, and it's at some point we got to stop paying attention so much to our broken heart and just get on with it. And not because you feel that you have to, but because genuinely, this is genuine feeling right here, Ace of Wands and Chariot, you really do feel like there's somewhere else you need to be. There's other things you are being called to, other things that inspire you, make you sit up, take notice, open your eyes, turn you on, whatever. You feel it's there. And your Chariot, which I told you is in your hidden energies, is going to stop being so hidden. You're going to stop pretending like you're not waiting for this person to come around and realize their role in your life, or what you felt that they were supposed to give you, or to turn around and suddenly accept the love that you were always trying to give them. If they ever do, congratulations to them. They wisened up, you know. But you shouldn't bank on that. Like, I'm not, you know, you just shouldn't bank on it, because you don't know. You don't know, and you can't live your life in that unknown state. I mean, you can try, but you will make yourself fucking miserable. Still asking yourself, what are they doing 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? Know that the price of being a human being is that our lives are incredibly short. So is theirs. They got to learn what they need to learn, and they're going to miss what they're going to miss. So, in a way, pity them. You were offering the real deal, honey. And you kept that deal open way too long. You don't get too many authentic deals like that in a lifetime. So, in a way, like I said, you can pity them and move on. Just don't pity you, because it looks like you have a lot of room to expand. So yeah, minimize that heartbreak. Stop paying attention to it so much. Stop looking at it. You're only going to learn so much from it at some point in the future, and just allow yourself to open up to other things, and then that heartbreak's going to seem further and further away as you gravitate and drive towards new. Okay? And so I see what that Ace of Wands, how it takes form. I don't know. I'm actually kind of curious about that. It feels interesting. It's interesting because it seems to, the Ace of Wands is doing its job, by the way. I see the way you're looking at it, and it's like, that's interesting. That's what the Ace of Wands does. It gives us perspective. It's like, hey, Libra, take a look at this. You might like it. And I see it's drawing you away from the pain. Specifically, you stop focusing on it so much. Okay? You stop focusing on the rejection. Because this has really got your attention, and that's what the Ace of Wands, like I said, it does. And you could use some of that lightness. You could use some of that, the brightness and the lightness too. I'm kind of curious about what's got your attention, because you're actually taking your Chariot out of the hidden energies and moving forward towards it. Perhaps it is some sort of temporary amusement. I don't know. Yeah, I know. It pulls you out of that Four of Cups energy. Ace of Swords, the truth, accepting that particular cycle and how unhappy it was making you. Yes, I agree. I agree. So what's got you moving forward? Man, I don't know. But you just feel like you're supposed to go in that direction. That's all I know. You just keep telling me, I feel like I'm supposed to go in that direction. There you are again with the High Priestess. And you're like, I'm open to it, whatever it is. Something, so I can't pinpoint it yet because it hasn't been introduced to your timeline yet. I just know that once it's gotten your attention, you stop paying attention to the disappointment in the cycle. And you start looking at this like you're intensely curious about it, but you also feel compelled to reach out towards it or go towards it. I don't know what it is, but look how strongly it calls to you. You're extremely curious about this. So, honey, so just from tarot experience with all that kind of fire energy and the intuition, it feels creative. Okay, so it's kind of feeling like you were meant to be called in that particular direction because it has something to do with expression and creativity. And there's a strong feeling that you will find yourself in it and being able to create within it. Okay? So, looks good. You're liking it. You're responding well to it, whatever it is. Okay. And it's not this. Like I said, if it comes back around of its own accord, that's further out. I haven't seen it. All right. For some of you, January is when that that makes sense. We got a lot of that renewal energy around January in terms of vows and commitments, and these are my affirmations for the year. So January, that would make sense then. It's like, I'm going to dedicate myself to doing this. I'm going to open up towards it. That would actually make a lot of sense. Last January might have been important, but I'm feeling like this upcoming January is when you're going to start gravitating more towards this feeling, this inspiration, that this direction is correct. Time has been delayed. I can see that. That's because we're still kind of low-key holding on to this in your hidden energies. That's why you haven't moved forward yet with your chariot. It is because part of you is acting like you're not waiting, but you are. And that's where the tension's coming from. The sooner you let go of that, time will stop being delayed. I know it's easier said than done, but you're at that point now where you're in the phases of, I need to accept this. I'm so much stronger than what it is I'm waiting for, because you are stronger than what you're waiting for. But if you believe that your love for this has to wait, then your heart's not really being strong, is it? Not for you. It's being strong for someone else who doesn't have the wherewithal to appreciate it or even give a shit. You waiting by the seaside for your lover, they don't care that you're waiting. If they cared about you, they wouldn't let you wait. Or they would have accepted your offer the first couple times you had it coming around. No. Think about it that way. If they really loved you, they cared. Wouldn't they have accepted what you had to offer? Wouldn't have made you wait. So they had a lesson. Their lesson is their lesson. That's their business. Yours is in here too. If you want time to stop being delayed, take yourself off pause, okay? Yeah, distract yourself from the waiting game, because that's just what I feel like you're playing for time, and you don't need to play for time, honey. Your energy's too big and too bright and too bold and too beautiful to be hanging around waiting for this. I mean, I know they're important to you, the connection's strong, but the 3D energy isn't. And I know we very much want our reality to match our spiritual energy with these kind of significant connections, but there's just no guarantee that that's going to happen. It had its job, it had its influence, and its time has come, and its time has passed. And you're meant to do so many other things. Okay? The Libra I'm looking at, waiting at the seaside's not your thing. It seems romantic until you realize how fucking lonely you are. Okay? Libra, honey, I hope this helped you. Put in the comments as you see fit. Take care. Be well.